Hey, what's up guys? It's time to do my out-of-box review for the 1:100 scale non-grade Gundam Astray red frame clear color version. So once again, big thank you to my good friend Alex for giving me this kit to share with you guys. Just as a gift, really. It wasn't even to share with you guys. I just decided to share with you guys just because I thought it'd be cool. No, that's of course part of the reason why Alex gave it to me was to share with you guys. So thank you to him, and you guys please thank him in the comments below. Unless you just really hate the Astray and you don't really want to see this video at all, then just don't watch the video, I guess. For me, the Astray, there's more than one, of course. The Astray red frame, I should say, is one of those designs that sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's definitely grown on me over the years. I was not really a huge fan of it at first, but it's definitely grown on me. The RG, which we recently took a look at, was really, really nice. Definitely one of the best RGs we've got out to date. The Perfect Grade is also really quite nice. Master Grade, I have not yet built a Master Grade Astray, although I do have the Astray Blue Frame D that I just have not gotten around to building yet. That's on my to-do list. Probably when I get the Murasame Liger figure in later in a couple months, because I want to put those together. Put them together. Anyway, this kit is a really cool kit. I think some people like clear kits and some people don't. I personally, it depends. A lot of clear kits I don't really particularly like, especially clear color kits. Something that's like mechanical clear, where we just have like the inner frame, like in either an RG or a Master Grade in like gunmetal color for the inner frame, and then we have just plain clear or like a smoke clear sort of thing like going on for the armor. That's cool. Clear color is usually not really very attractive to me, and that's just because I think it just doesn't really often look good with all the different colors, the clear blue and clear yellow and clear red and all of that together for most of the Gundams, like the Zeta Gundam or the RX-78 or something like that in the normal Gundam colors. I think when you put all those together in clear form, it doesn't really look very good. Just, of course, my own personal opinion. This one, however, is obviously primarily white and red and black, and those colors, when clear, put together, I think go together just fine. So I definitely like the look of this kit. I think it's definitely a cool looking kit. Of course, it is a just 1/100 scale non-grade, so it's nice that it's 1/100 scale, it's nice and big, but of course it is just a non-grade, so don't expect too much in terms of like a lot of inner frame, because it has zero inner frame. Or just articulation. The articulation is really not all that bad with this kit. It's really pretty solid. Some of the proportions may not be totally appealing for you if you're really a stickler when it comes to like accurate proportions, but I think this kit looks good. I think like even the non-clear version would look pretty good, but in clear it definitely suits it. I think the clear white on the outside just makes it so that you can see more of that red inner frame popping out like through the thigh. The thigh part is all red, so like underneath that white armor you can see it, and then around the legs as well. We do have an area around in like the calf area where it's pretty hollow, where there's no inner frame inside there in some parts. I mean, there's a little bit inside there, but anyway. Some of those areas like that are looking a little bit hollow, but for the most part it's got really nice layering among the clear parts so that it looks really good, and then the black also definitely helps to break that up a bit as well. So I think overall the kit looks really cool. We will take a look at the articulation here now, and I'll show you where a few of these stickers that we've got on it are. As far as the like marking stickers, we only had the two, which was just the one here you can see on the shoulder. They're okay. They're not that great. The other one is here on the shield. It's basically the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I usually don't use those, but for this kit I just put it on because it's sort of a special kit, so I figure I might as well put that on there. Other stickers, you can see obviously the eyes. There's a foil sticker here near the cockpit hatch. That's a small red foil sticker there as well. It doesn't really match the red color of the clear, but thought might as well throw it on there, I suppose. And then here on the top of the head, that's a green sticker there. And then on the back of the head, a green sticker for the camera there as well. So not a whole lot in terms of stickers, just those few. The head is going to go up nice and far there, like that, and then down pretty well there, and then side to side a little bit, not too much, and then rotating like that. So again, just pretty good there in the head. The stomach, you're not going to have too much, but there is a little bit of bend here in the stomach. It's actually quite good for a non-grade. If we can see here, going to have a little bit of bend. And then side to side, not really too much, but forward and back, it's really not all that bad. It's pretty good. You can get some nice ab crunch there. And the shoulders, they're a little bit unique, of course, because we've got this top part here that is going to sit in a little bit different than most shoulder joints. So you're going to have some up and down movement there at the shoulder, and then of course just normal arm movement, rotation there at the bicep. A nice double joint, or a single joint, I believe is just it's just a single joint, but really nice bend there. So basically a full, as full of a bend as you're possibly going to get here at this point. So really quite nice. The wrist is just on a ball joint, so that's just going to move around pretty standardly. This shoulder armor is basically stuck in this position. You can move it slightly, a little bit up and down, but it's basically just kind of pulling this part off the back of it, so I wouldn't really recommend doing that too much. So the arms overall pretty nice there. These front skirt pieces are not going to move at all in terms of like compared to the real grade, or I think even the high grade possibly. These front skirt pieces move separately. On this one, this front skirt is just all one piece, but this whole front piece does move, as you may have just seen. So this whole piece does move a little bit there in the front. The side skirts are just going to move up and down. There on the side, they're so small and there's basically nothing we can see. This side has the port for the sword. The other side has nothing there, so you do only have the option of putting the sword on only the left side there. The back skirt is pretty much non-existent, so nothing there. This part doesn't move or anything at all. The legs do have rotation here at the hip, so swivel there. We're going to obviously have no trouble going forward with the lack of a front skirt. The knee joint is going to have a really nice bend there. Again, for a non-grade, it's really quite nice. Luckily, I think just the design of the red frame in general lends itself quite well to good articulation, just because of how it's designed, so that's very good. You can get some really nice bend there in the knee. As far as the ankles, again, it's the same thing. The design works really well for the ankles here. No movement in the toe down, but we can see we do get a little bit of a flip-flop there. Similar to some high grades have the similar sort of function there in the ankle, so that you can, or in the foot I should say, so you can get a really nice angle up and then down. Not all that much, but not too bad. So that's pretty much it for the articulation. It's really, I think for a non-grade, it's really quite good. Of course, it's not going to be anything compared to like a master grade or even the real grade, especially like without some of the functions of the armor moving like on the real grade. And I believe some of the armor moves on the high grade as well, on the master grade as well, I'm sure. Of course, we don't have that, but I think for a non-grade, it's pretty damn good. So the backpack is going to be able to move. I believe, like other versions, this comes down and out basically for no really particular reason that I know of, but I'm sure there probably is a reason. Unlike the perfect grade, these, and I don't know, maybe the other versions as well, these parts here where the beam saber handles plug into, those don't turn at all, so those are just fixed in this position. I personally think that's better because I found with the perfect grade, I found that the angling those really didn't serve any purpose, so it's best to just have them just fixed in that particular angle. So with that, why don't we talk about some of the accessories, since we can take this out, the beam saber handle. We'll set that back there. So we've got our two beam saber handles there in the backpack, and then we've got our two beam saber effect parts. So let's just plug simply into there. You can see the beam saber effect part has some nice details molded in that. all this is going to do is just drop down into the hand very simply and very loosely. To be honest, it doesn't really fit in there all that well. I think maybe you have to put it like all the way down in the hand and then it can hold it, but it's still going to be pretty loose in there. So just be careful with that. Sadly, that's just the way that is. But accessories. The next thing is this figure. This is one thing that was great about the 1/100 scale non-grade figures, that they came with these, the 1/100 scale non-grade kits, so they came with these nice figures. I forget the scale. I want to say this is something like 1 to... I really forget. Let me check. It doesn't say in the manual, but anyway, pretty nicely sized figure. This one would definitely be much easier to paint, much easier than a 1/100 scale figure. It's easily like triple the size of that. So yeah, pretty nice that we've got that. The briefcase is a separate piece that you just pop into his hand like that. Again, I either haven't seen this in the anime or I forget, but I don't know what significance that briefcase is, but he's always carrying it, so imagine it's of some sort of significance. In every pilot figure that I've seen, he always has that, so don't really know, but I'm sure one of you guys will tell me in the comments. Then we also have our beam rifle, which I quite like. I like the design of this beam rifle. I've said it many times before. I'll say it again. The secondary handle does move up, but I don't think you would actually be able to get that to be held in the hand if you tried bringing that arm out in front to hold that. I don't think it would work, so that secondary handle probably is not going to be of much use, but it does move. We have a trigger finger, which I've just gone ahead and attached that onto here because the trigger finger is not going to serve any other purpose other than just holding this, so it might as well just be semi-permanently attached onto the beam rifle. All we've got to do, just switch that hand, and then there we go. Just a very derpy pose here, but you get the idea. And then we have our shield, which you saw briefly before. Again, just a sticker on there. It doesn't really look all that great. Might actually go ahead and take that off after the review, but just for you guys' sake, I'll show you that. You'll also notice there's a small, you hopefully probably wouldn't have noticed if I wouldn't have pointed it out, there's a small crack here. You can see that. When I was putting this together, you need to put this red part in first before you put the black part down, but I didn't, so I put the black part down first, and then I had to take it apart again to put the red piece in. In the middle of trying to get this black piece and the white piece separated, I snapped that right there. So I just put some glue on that and it's back in place, and hopefully not very noticeable at all. But just be careful, of course, when you're working with clear kits, they're especially a little bit more brittle. I think, of course, you'd probably have to be careful with that anyway, but just because it's clear, you have to be even more careful. We've got our connection piece here on the arm that will connect in the back of the arm, and then gives you the option of either plugging the shield onto the back of the arm or the side of the arm, but I think everyone's probably going to want the shield on the side of the arm, so that's where we're going to keep it. This poly cap in there allows you to get a little bit of movement. Then we have the secondary handle for the shield, which has two different ports where you can put that. If you want to have this held in the hand as well, you can just snap that in there like that, or in this more forward one, basically whichever you want to do. Or if you don't want to have it out at all, you just plug it in here like that, and then that's stuck in there. So it doesn't move, you have to just take it out and reposition it, but that works well. So I'll put that on the arm momentarily. First, let's talk about our other hand. This is a hand for holding, not really holding, but when you've got the sword plugged onto the side skirt, you can kind of put this hand on it like that and be a cool guy, like you're about to pop the sword out like that. So pretty cool that we've got that hand, it's nice. But then here, of course, is the sword. Now for the real grade, I gave the sword away. For this one, I am going to keep it because it's cool. I like it in this clear, everything clear here. These are stickers, just foil stickers there, just two red bands that you just wrap around there. They don't look bad at all. They actually look really quite nice. When you pull the sword out, here it's, if you'll remember, it's chrome plated. And we can see we do have a little bit of an effect there with that line to make it look like it's sharpened. The cool thing here again as well is that, let's see if I take this apart and hopefully you can see it again better, is that we've got that cool like kanji there on the side of the sword. Now with the normal kit, once you put it together, that would be lost and you're not going to be able to see it at all. However, with this kit, luckily we are able to actually see that through the handle because it's clear. So really cool there. You can't see it well, and especially on the camera you're probably not going to be able to see it all that well, but you can actually see that a little bit through the handle, which is really cool. I think it definitely adds a lot to, I don't know, just making it sort of interesting, unique anyway. That just pops into there like that. We've got the peg on here. Peg is just going to plug into the side skirt, and there you go. I've found it's very loose, sadly, so that's just going to be very floppy like that, but basically you just gotta stand it up and then have that just resting on the ground like that, with a little bit of glue or even like a little sticky tack or something, I don't know, something to just stiffen that up a little bit would probably help quite a bit. Why don't we put that cool guy swordsman hand on here and have it on the sheath. Okay, there we go. Had to do a little bit of work there and positioning. And a couple things that I didn't mention or forgot about, just kind of whatever, when I was talking about the articulation. One problem with the legs is that you can't angle the legs out very far. So like if you were to do like the splits or something, obviously not that extreme, but my point is that they don't go out all that far. The spread that you're seeing now is basically the maximum that you're going to get in the legs there. So if you wanted to do like a even more extreme pose, you're going to run into a little bit of difficulty there, of course. Although I think the articulation is really quite good. It definitely is. I mean, it is just a non-grade. It is going to be limited, but I think for a non-grade, it is still quite good. So here, and the other point of articulation that I forgot to mention about is that in the forearms, there is another joint here where you can see that small little circle there on the forearm. That is going to make the whole wrist joint move up as well, which is going to give you a really nice bend there at the wrist, which is going to help you immensely when you want to do poses like this, where you need to have that wrist bent very far back. If it's just on the ball joint, it's not going to move enough, but with that extra joint in there, you're able to get that wrist nice and far back to be able to hold on to the handle, something like this. Now, the problem with doing this pose and with that hand, the left hand, which is meant for like popping the sword out of the sheath like that, where I've got it on there now is basically as high as you can get it, with like the way that the arm bends and how close the side skirt is to the arm. Basically that's as close, as high up as you can grip it. You'd have a really hard time getting it to grip like right at the end of the sheath where you would probably want it to be. Where it would be popping out the shield, so you kind of have to fake it a little bit like this and have it a little bit farther down. It still looks good. I think the pose is still definitely believable, but it's maybe not as far up as you might want it. So, okay, now as I've said, the sword is not really particularly my favorite weapon for this kit or other kits that are using like samurai weapons, but I just want to show you guys a bit of what the articulation can do for this kit. So that is basically the purpose of putting it in another sort of sword wielding pose here. You can see the articulation is not totally 100% like convincing as much as the perfect grade or real grade or master grade, but again, it's not really fair to compare this too much to those kits just because it is just a 100 scale non-grade. So again, I'm probably just beating a dead horse at this point, but as far as the non-grade goes, I think it's pretty dang good. Alright, and as much as I think the katana with this version of the Red Frame Astray is better than other versions just because it's cool and clear, my weapons of choice are still going to be the just shield and beam rifle for this. So I still like these particular accessories for the Astray Red frame, so this is what I'm gonna go with for mine. That's gonna be just about it that I can say for this kit. I think it's really cool. If you like the look of it and if you can get your hands on one, it's definitely going to be a good option for you. There was recently the Art of Gundam clear color version of the master grade of this kit, but that is very expensive. I think that one was somewhere around like 8,000 yen, something like that, for just the list price. And to get that, if you live somewhere in the States or even in somewhere else in Southeast Asia, it's gonna cost you over $100 to get that kit, where this one you could probably get for somewhere around 30 or 40, I guess. I don't know, I've never looked, so I don't know, but definitely less than half of that one, I'm sure. So it's gonna be a cool kit. If you want a clear color 1/100 scale Astray Red frame, I'd say this is definitely a really good option for you. So that's just about it. The other thing, if you wanted to put this on an action base, it does not have any sort of action base. It doesn't have anywhere on the kit for putting it on an action base. You'd have to use a connector. So you'd have to use like one of these kind of connectors that come with an action base 2. Sorry, an action base 1. So let me just go ahead and try this out here. And there we go, up on action base. It's just going to look that much better, I think. Of course, as always, action bases always make everything look better. So there we go. That is basically it for this kit. Again, a cool kit. I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of the Astray Red frame, and I know there a lot of you are. So if you can find one, definitely go ahead and get one. If you're watching to this point in the video, I hope you'll watch all the way till the end. So that I can tell you before anyone starts asking me, where did you get that kit? Where did you get that kit? I did not get this kit. I don't know where Alex got this kit. I think he got it from someone here on a group here in Korea who was selling a few of them. If you want to know where to get this kit, there's this really cool site called Google that you can just plug in what you're looking for, and then that'll tell you some sites that might have this for sale. Some possible options might be eBay or Amazon, would probably be good places to start looking. Anyway, that is it for this video, you guys. I hope this was interesting for anyone out there who might be interested in getting this kit or just wanted something cool to look at for a good 20 minutes or so. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.